there, here's a quick video on how to plot a map using your geographical data fields within your dataset in Tableau. So I've connected to the sample EU Superstore and I'm using the orders table. I've dragged it in the canvas. So I'll come to my sheet. When you look at this data pane, you will see different table fields in there. Upper part is for dimension and the lower part in green pills are measures. So sometimes most dimensions comes in string, so you can see the icons in here and they will show you the type of data type it is. This one shows a calendar icon. You see is a date or just a date data type. If it has another icon, a small circle by the side, you will know that is a date type. Another way to check is just to click on that particular data field and come to this drop down arrow, go to default properties, or change data type. You will see change data type shows that it's date. If I convert it to daytime, you see this round ball already appears in there. So this icon here shows the type of data type it is. So when you come to change data type, you see this is string. It can be special, it can also be other ones numbers, but this one is sticker string. You can also convert as you want it. So I can't convert this to a data type because it's just going to give me error. Let's just try to do that by converting to date time. Customer ID as date time. So it's going to give me a format that does not really make absolute sense. So that's how string behaves when you convert it. But the emphasis on in this video is how to show you to use a geographical data type. Now we have this longitude and latitude, which is usually used to denote geographical data type. You can see a generated field with latitude values used with geographical dimensions in map view. So usually you drag it to your columns and rows and you come in here, or you can swap as well if you do not get what you want. Now we have the map. So usually the longitude comes to columns and the latitude comes to rows. Okay, so when we have put these auto-generated fields into the columns and rows, which is the latitude and longitude, always ensure that it's in the right position. For example, if I swap this, it's not going to generate anything for me. So when I swap it, it's bringing me a map structure. So basically rows holds latitude, columns holds longitude. So next thing to look for is to look for any field that has this globe icon. Let's just collapse this. You can see that some of them have ABC, which is just merely strings, and these are measures, and some are date fields and some can be date time. So you look for the ones that have global, but this particular one shows that it's an hierarchical kind of data type. So what do I mean? When I make it expanded, you will see these global icons attached to it. So that means it contains location related data fields or geographical related data fields. However, it's an hierarchy because this is a subset of this and this is linked to this one. If I want to use city, for example, after having this map structure, all I can do is just to drag this. The first step to create a map is to drag this into detail. Now that I just dragged city into detail, but because it's hierarchical, it's brought in other subdivisions, categories above it into it. So dragging it into details creates the map, and because it's being hierarchical in nature, it brings all the main categories with it. So another way to, let me just clear this region of the map. Yeah. Another way to create a map from this global icon, location icon, is to just double click. When you double click, for example, if I do not have this auto-generated longitude and latitudes into it, if I just double click, it just brings it automatically. Again, it has all this in there. So if I double click this one, it's just going to bring in country at the top. If I yank this off and double click country and region alone, it's just country and region because it's not inheriting any, it's not linked to any main category above it. So basically that's how you use it to double click or and use the global icon related data fields, or you can just simply come to that field. You can use this as a map. Or, but if you come into any one that has this global related, you can say add to sheet. That's another way, because it's auto generated and is intuitive in nature. Tableau intuitively suggests this longitude and latitude because of it. If I clear that off and use something like this, add to sheet, it's just going to be a string. Even if I double click it, the same thing. The behavior is different. If I bring in this manually, like I said the first time, and bring that into detail, nothing, because there is no relationship between this and this in any way. So basically, bringing longitude and latitude, or if you want to save that yourself of that step, just double click on any global icon and it automatically falls into the detail aspect. And if it's hierarchical, it brings in other one. So if you have a field that is not, you have this longitude and latitude, but you have a field that is not geographical in nature, and you want to assign a global role, for example, segments, you can come in here and you see this option of geographical role. You tilt down, do not select any of this one because it's still going to refer to the longitude. So you just have to create from any of this. So you can create from city, state or province, or country or region, which are existing geographical fields in that data set. So you can create from any existing one. Let's assume city, for example. You can see the icon for segments has changed. So it has created a relationship between segments and city. So let me just double click. You can see that because we have 3 segments in our data field, it just brought it in straight away as 3 segments in relationship to city. So let's bring this in to colors. You will see the segments color legend here. So this is normal office and this. Now, if I decide to bring city into detail as well, you can see that everything now highlights based on city. Let's remove segments here. So these are, you see consumer segments, keeps changing. You see segments, it's the consumer. When we move to the top of this one, we would see this is consumer segments. But let's decide to remove city from detail. And we have consumer, corporate, and home office. Let's bring city back in. Consumer, I should find corporate in the middle. You can see corporate is around this area. So let's put segments and colors so we identify. Cool. So you can see that home office is around here as well. And we have Spain. So it just really creates a relationship between the two. Let's decide to change this row and create from country. Now let's yank off city from here and bring country into details. You can see it's related to country now. Sweden, you have the corporate office, state and province in here. Country, okay, now we have segments at the top of the hierarchy. So you can assign a role from a particular one that does not have it. If I decide to yank off this, I do not want it to play any role, I will just take none. And there we have it. Segments as returned to, let's just reverse. I don't want it to be in the hierarchy. I will just now take this. And there we go. Segment does not have any effect on this anymore. So if I decide to use, let's see customer name and see how that entails. Geographical role, create from city. Now my customer name will be as geographical. And I bring that into detail, you can see that customer names are in different city. Let's bring city into labels and see. Or let's just bring it into detail. Now we have our customer name. This particular customer lives in Derby, England, Leeds, yeah. So that's how you form that relationship. And you can trace where this person, you know, lives according to the state. So just create that relationship with that particular field and